OK, we are just 2 games away now from finding out our quarter-final lineup at the Euros.
Austria face Turkey and Netherlands take on Romania, and it's that game we're going to focus on with our very own Dougie Critchley. We're going to start with Romania-Netherlands. That's at 5 o'clock. How under pressure are the Dutch going into this game after? I mean, it's been a bit of an underwhelming group stage, hasn't it, for them?
Yeah, it wasn't brilliant by any stretch of the imagination. Actually, of all the sides to make the knockout stages, they led in their games for the fewest amount of time, just 12 minutes and 27 seconds. There was that 0-0 draw against France, but then they lost against Austria in their final group game, dropping them down to 3rd in that group. It was the most challenging group, at least by FIFA rankings, so there's no complete shame in that. But it definitely hasn't been free-flowing, and they have struggled in major tournaments in years gone by as well. They are looking to avoid becoming just the second side in Euros history to lose 4 consecutive knockout games, so they're definitely under a fair amount of pressure.
What are the selection dilemmas facing Ronald Koeman going into this game?
Well, he made a big call 36 minutes into that defeat against Austria. He substituted midfielder Joey Veerman, who was having a really difficult afternoon. He actually lost the ball 19 times out of 26 attempts to control possession. Was substituted at 36 minutes. You know, whether he's brought into the side will be a big question mark. Tijani Reinders has played for Milan over the last few years. He was on the bench there, so he might be brought in. Marco van Basten, the Dutch legend, has said, we're not very good at attacking, we're not very good at defending. So it feels like the mood around the Dutch national team is not particularly positive at the moment. They haven't really utilised Jeremy Frimpong, who's only played 82 minutes so far. He got 14 goals and 12 assists for Bayer Leverkusen last season. So there's loads of headaches around Ronald Koeman. And he's under a fair amount of pressure too, because this is his second spell in charge of the Netherlands national side. He left them before Euro 2020 to take charge of Barcelona, only lasted 1 full season there before being fired. So he needs this, and he needs a win against Romania to make it through to the quarterfinals.
Focusing on Memphis Depay, you know, only 4 short of Robin van Persie's record of 50 goals. Do you think he gets the respect he deserves in his country?
Yeah, it's a little bit difficult, isn't it? I think in terms of his club career, he maybe hasn't picked the right club at the right time. He joined Man United at 21 years old. Louis van Gaal was the manager back then. He actually said at the time, we've maybe made this signing a year early, but PSG and Liverpool were interested. He only lasted 1 full season there, left the following January of the next season to Lyon. That was probably the best spell of his career, but Lyon at that particular moment, you know, weren't the great force they were in the early 2000s, but he still scored over 20 goals in 2 of his 4 seasons there. Then joins Barcelona, the probably move of his career, but they just lost Lionel Messi. The mood around the club was pretty depressing right then and there. Then joins Atletico Madrid. He's always been a sort of backup option. But for the Netherlands national team, as you say, just 4 short of Robin van Persie's record. So he scored more goals for the Dutch than Kluivert, Van Nistelrooy, Johan Cruyff. Wow. I mean, all the legends that have pulled on that famous orange jersey. And there's Memphis Depay in 2nd in their top goal scorer chart. So he's definitely done the business for the Dutch, and they'll need him this afternoon.
Just finally, Dougie, what sort of threat do you see Romania posing, and which players will the Dutch need to be particularly wary of?
Yeah, well, they had an interesting qualifying. They actually qualified ahead of Switzerland, and we've seen what Switzerland done at this tournament. We've seen how nervous England fans are about playing Switzerland this weekend.
Nervous?
No, well, a little bit, at least from my perspective, anyway. But Romania haven't been necessarily the most entertaining side in this year's competition. They've averaged the fewest passes, worst pass accuracy as well, but they still got that dominant victory over Ukraine. And then in terms of individual players, Razvan Marin has scored 2 goals from midfield, which is a bit of an anomaly. He's only scored 2 goals in the last 2 seasons for Empoli. Dragic is their real threat up front. He scored 14 goals in the Turkish top flight last year. I think only 6 players scored more than him. Dragoshin of Spurs is the best-known player there for Romania. But they'll be hoping, they go in as the underdogs in this one, but they'll be hoping to upset the apple cart.